Well, first of all, let me say our police force, we're a democracy. We're a constitutional democracy. We have rules and regulations. We have laws. We have a judiciary system. And the police is an independent force which is guided by that constitution and laws of that country. The moment the police starts killing people just because they're suspected to be criminals, then we have lost the plot. It means that we're getting into the law of the jungle, in which our country is not going to be managed and crime is not going to be controlled by our laws. And there's going to be a lot of miscarriage of justice. And in fact, if you look at 99% of the young people who've been killed in Nairobi through extrajudicial killings, many of them are innocent. They are petty criminals. They have mugged someone somewhere. They have pickpocketed somewhere. They have not committed a crime proportionate to the punishment that is meted out. And this decision is made by one police officer. So I'm glad now that, in fact, that debate is now on the table. And to a certain extent, we have we agree that our police force should be run through our laws. And that's why, then, our police force needs to switch from using brute force to deal with criminals to a constitutional, equitable, just method in which they're not going to target or profile particular communities or particular groups. They are going to use strategies and methodologies that have worked in the rest of the world to deal with crime and to build the trust that they need to build with the community. Because you cannot deal with the law enforcement and criminal justice issue without public support. You know, it is this public that would be looking after their neighborhoods, after their homes, and so on. So now we have two communities. We have a wealthy, rich community that has built walls, that is putting electrical fencing, have security guards. Some of them are heavily armed, protecting their homes. And then we have neighborhoods like mine in Kamkunji in the Eastlands, which were left to the elements. Either you become a victim of criminal gangs, and that's your problem, or the police come in and execute anybody who is accused of being a criminal. I mean, we have a different, there are different ways of doing it. Those are not the only ways of dealing with criminal problems. And I think for those who are advocating for disproportional use of force, brute force of killing people, they are mistaken, because they're giving that power to a police officer who is not probably the right person to judge whether that person is a criminal or not. Of course, there are situations where the police come on the stage, on the scene of a crime. And of course, they're allowed by our legislation to deal with that particular situation as the circumstances determines. Very special circumstances. But 99% of the extrajudicial killings are planned intentionally. They are premeditated. You plan to go and execute that person because of what you think that person is doing. It's not as if you've been caught in the act, as it were, and the police had to make use of whatever necessary force was required to deal with that particular situation. And they have that power, and they have the laws and the regulations to guide them in that sense. But in the last 10 years, we've had a police regime which has been allowed to do those things intentionally by the political establishment in office. And that's what we are rejecting now. What we're saying is that the police should come back, review how they work, work around on the issues of crime, because their main function is crime control. And we have said that what they have been doing is unconstitutional. If they do it, they break the law. They must look at lawful ways of policing, and they must respect human rights.